So let's finish lab 5. We left off at this point where we plotted the 685 locations of our 14 grocery chains. We can see that the Western New York is really dominated by Tops and Walmart supercenters. The New York City area has lots of Stop and Shop and Key Food. ShopRite is really in Westchester County. In the Albany County, we see very nicely how Hannaford and Price Chopper are really battling it out, competing head to head in almost identical locations, with Walmart Supercenter sprinkled here and there. So this is pretty useful. This is nice. But let's say I wanted a filled map instead of a symbol map where I have every location plotted. Let's say I just wanted to have a county where the color of the county tells me what is the dominant chain in that county. So let's try that. Let's open up a new sheet. Let's put state in there. Let's put county in there. Let's make this a filled map. Let's put the chain. Where is it? Grocery chain here. Let's put that on color. And let's get rid of the null. I'm going to exclude that so that we only see the 14 grocery chains that we're interested in, not all the mom and pop stores. And so what do we see here? So we see mostly blue, and the tooltip shows us Aldi in lots of locations as a #1 store, but I don't think that's true. I don't think Aldi is a #1. I think the reason Aldi is showing at the top is because Aldi is #1 in the alphabet, in the alphabetical order. If I actually highlight Hannaford, I see Hannaford is over here. If I highlight Price Chopper, oh, Price Chopper is in lots of different places. So what is happening here is that I'm plotting all the locations in all of the counties. Each county has stores that belong to lots of different chains. And those colors are plotted on top of each other. Now, in general, Aldi is going to end up at the top because it's a top in the alphabetical order. In fact, it's interesting that this color, it says Aldi, and it's different than Aldi over here. And that's because if I look at the color, there's a 80% opacity by default. If I make it 100% opacity so that there's no seeping through, there's no see-through the colors, I see that most of this is all just blue because Aldi is in most counties, and it's first in the alphabet. If I make the opacity at 50%, it's all kind of gray because all those colors are mushed together. They're all seeping into each other. So that's not what I want. In fact, I don't care which chain is #2 or #3 in the county. I only want to plot the color of the chain that's #1 in each county. So for that, I need to filter out all the chains that are #2, #3, and #5 in the county, and then redo this plot. So let's see how we can identify which chain is #1 in each county. Let's create a new sheet. Let's put county on rows. Let's put our chain, grocery chain up here on columns. Let's again get rid of the nulls because we don't want the mom and pop stores. And now we have these combinations of county and grocery chains. Let's see how many locations each chain has in each county. We see that Price Chopper is dominant in Albany. There's no competition in Allegheny, it's just Tops. Key Food is dominant in the Bronx. Right, so Price Chopper is #1 in Albany. Key Food is number 1 in the Bronx. So how could we do this? How could we filter out sort of everything else but Price Chopper from Albany County, or everything else but Key Foods from the Bronx County? Well, we can create a table calculation that tells us which chain is number 1. Let's do that. Let's add a table calculation. We're going to use a rank, descending rank, so that the highest number of stores is number 1. Let's make it unique so that we don't have any ties. Ties are resolved through flipping a coin randomly, and we do this across each table, across the table, so that for each county we have a number 1, number 2, number 3, but we don't do it down for which county is number 1 for each chain. We want which chain is number 1 for each county. So let's X that out. That makes sense. Price Chopper is number 1 in Albany. Key Food is number 1 in Bronx. Now we can add a filter so that we can see only the chains that are number 1s. Price Chopper in Albany, Key Food in the Bronx. So now I have the combinations of county and the number 1 chain in each county. So let's highlight these combinations, and let's create a set. We're going to call it top chain by county, and I have 61 members of this. Why is it 61? Well, I have 62 counties, but I think there's one county where there's no chain grocery store. So 61 sounds like a good number. Albany, Price Chopper, Bronx, Key Food, that all makes sense. Perfect. Call it number 2 because I already created it at some point. So let's go back to our filled plot, and let's put this set into the filter card. Let's change the opacity to 100, and now we're plotting 61 marks because we just have 61 counties and top chains in each of those 61 counties, and this is a very different picture. Right? There's a Price Chopper up here, a Hannaford here in Albany County. It is Price Chopper that wins. We know that. We saw that Price Chopper was number 1. Key Food is in the Bronx. Let's go to Bronx. There we go. Fantastic. So these are the top chains. Look at the Weiss Markets in Broome County is number 1, but we see Tops all in Western New York, Wegmans in Rochester area. So if I change the order in which the chains are plotted, it's not going to change the picture because now in each county we're plotting just one chain because we limited the observations to chains that are number 1 in each county. Okay, so let's that's it. That wraps Lab 5. You have homework. Play a little bit with mapping and FEC, Federal Election Commission donations to the primary season in 2019. So I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend.